I am Marcus James Dixon with Gold Derby, and we are here with Emmy winner Carrie Preston, the star of Elsbeth on CBS. So tell me, Carrie, season two is airing now on CBS, and what
Yes.
were you most looking forward to doing between season one and season two when you had all those months to prepare? Like what was going through your mind about what you could not wait to do in season two?
Well, first of all, I just couldn't even wait to get going again because, every day I look at as a bit of a miracle. The fact that we're actually doing this, I started playing this character 14 years ago and never would have dreamt, that it would have led to a show called Elsbeth. So every day is definitely a gift.
Wow.
So we have twice as many episodes this season as we had um, season one. So, that means twice as many really cool storylines that we get to explore, but also twice as many guest stars, which I think is kind of the heart of our show, the people that
Mhm.
are coming on and playing with us. So I was looking forward to seeing who was going to join us for season two in that capacity. And just getting back with this crew. I mean, almost all of the crew came back in season two, and we all work really well together. A lot of the crew have worked together on other shows before, so they have like a real beautiful workflow, and they just seamlessly fit in with us actors, and so it's a really special place to go to work.
And I mean, you film a lot of it in New York City, like on the streets. I bet you have some crazy stories of meeting, pedestrians or fans. Like, how wild is it to film on the streets of New York City?
I mean, I live in New York. I love New York, and I've been there for over 30 years, and so I know the energy there, and it's lively and infectious, and sometimes contentious.
Mhm.
Sometimes people they don't care in New York. They don't care. They're on their way. They're trying to do their thing. They are not impressed by filmmaking. But it's fun. A lot of times our trailers are just parked, right on the city streets, and a lot of times I'll come out and there'll just be people waiting there, and they'll go, "Oh, there she is, there's Elspeth," because it just says it on my, they're not trying to act like it's not, so it says it on my it says Elspeth, so they wait to talk to me and stuff like that, and that's always a flattering and sweet to see. When I was shooting the pilot, we were on the top of a double decker tour bus,
Oh yeah.
and we were stuck in traffic right at Times Square, and we were just sitting there, and I was up top. Now, this was before the show was even Elsbeth. It was just a pilot. But I heard these people, tourists, down on the sidewalk going, "Is that her? Is that her? Is that her?" And then I looked down over, and they were like, it is Elsbeth." And, I looked at the camera crew, and I was like, was that a good omen, or was that a good omen? And it turns out it was.
I would totally be one of those looky-loos that stood around like, I'm gonna wait for her to come out of her trailer, no matter how long it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the season two premiere, it was all about opera, and you had a very special guest star, Nathan Lane. He played the killer of the week. Had you worked with Nathan before, and what could you tell us about him when the cameras aren't rolling?
Yes, I did. I worked with him on The Good Wife. He was playing a totally different character on that show. He was a fellow lawyer. So, as I recall, it was a long time ago, but
Mhm.
we had some scenes together. And he reminded me when we were working together this time that he had said to me, they should do a spinoff with with your character.
Wow.
Um, and once he reminded me that, I remember him saying that and being so flattered at the time, and that was 10 years ago or more. So it was a real compliment that he said yes, to come. He's very busy. He has a lot going on, but John Tolan's wrote the role for him. John's our showrunner, and he wrote the role for him, and they know each other, and so it was really amazing that he fit us in because he had just finished something and he was starting something else, and he sandwiched us in there.
Wow.
And he's incredible. I never saw him look at his script. He was fully, just fully there, ready to go from
Wow.
day one. And that's always a really impressive thing to see, because we have a lot to say. We have these big scenes together, and one of some of our scenes are like 7, 8 pages, and that's a lot to for anyone, but especially for somebody who's just coming in to do one episode. And so he really entertained the crew with his choices. He was really game, but also extremely focused and serious, which is, you could say the same about me. So we worked really well together.
Mhm.
I feel like we have the same type of work ethic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that episode was all about opera. And I'm just curious, are you an opera fan personally, or is that something that's completely out of your wheelhouse?
This is John Toland's favorite thing on the planet is opera. He was waiting, for this to do this episode, and he wanted to do it right. He was very specific about where he wanted music cues, what he wanted to highlight, all that. Nancy Howard was our director. Her mother started the Charleston Opera Company, so it was a really good synergy and collaboration between the two of them, because I'm not an opera aficionado by any stretch. I have an appreciation for it, but I certainly and not somebody who regularly goes, which I think worked well because it's Elsbeth's first time going to the opera as
Right.
well. So I was able to kind of tap into that wonder and appreciation.
Well, it was just announced that another special guest star is coming up. Someone you know very well, Michael Emerson, your host.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
what did he have to audition, or did he kind of just get the role because he knows you?
I worked with him. I worked with him and worked with him. It took a long time for him to really understand this medium called television.
Yeah.
But once I worked with him, he was pretty good, and they're taking a chance on him. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
They were, so excited, obviously, to have him, and I was excited that they found this role that they knew what that they were going to bring him on. They just wanted to make sure that they really got a juicy part for him, and they did. And so we're off to the races with that. We've already worked on it, and I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Like, can you tell us anything, or is that like hush hush?
Well, I think it's already been said, but he plays a judge, which is fun because it gets Elsbeth back in the courtroom. I'm not going to tell you exactly how I get back in the courtroom, but
Mhm.
it is a fun setup. And then, you know, as you know, on our show, if you're the special guest star, you're generally up to no good.
Mhm.
So you can say that. It definitely is the case for Michael's character. And because he's in such a powerful position, it makes him a little more untouchable.
Mm. He is really good at playing no good. I mean, The Practice lost. He won 2 Emmys for playing villainous characters. And
Yes.
I remember you played his mom on Lost, which is
Mm-hmm.
really, I hope that's a Jeopardy question one day. It's such a fun fact, like a trivia
We've
fact.
shown up on, I think, crossword puzzles before.
I love that.
Yeah, little fun little trivia things like that, which is the whole reason why I even did that. Was I said it as a joke to him, like, when they do your flashback, they'll let me play your mom, and then the fans will love it. It'll be some fun little Easter egg. And then the next thing I know, I was giving birth to him in the jungle. So, and there she wrote, there, the rest is history, as they say.
Let's talk about the character of Elsbeth. She is quite quirky. She's very unique. She's the most intelligent person on television. Is there a trigger that happens to you on set as the actress to go from Carrie to Elsbeth? Is there something that you do, or do you just become her?
Well, because she's kind of in my brain already now, because I've been coming back to her for over the years for so long. I've evolved as a person as she has. There is some second nature to it. The writing, of course, is what I always start with. And luckily, all across the board, from the good universe to the Elsbeth universe, the writing has been spectacular. So I do trust that. But there's just this, I try to always go through whatever I would think the most obvious choice would be, and then let that go, and
Mm.
then dig deeper and deeper, because she never really makes an obvious choice, as a person. And I try to always ground it, as much as I can, even though there's a lot of humor. And I enjoy doing the comedy and playing the comedy, but I think it works best when I have a reason that happens, and a lot of it is because she is so incredibly present and has such a sense of wonder and excitement and adventure, and curiosity. And so I just always try to keep coming back to that sense of being open to whatever it is that is being put in front of her.
And you mentioned you've been playing this character for 14 years. You won an Emmy for playing her on The Good Wife, of course. And do you ever wonder, like, what would you be doing now if you never met Robert and Michelle King all those years ago? They really did change your life for the better.
They really did. They really are incredibly wonderful, collaborative people, creatively collaborative, but they're also very loyal. And they find actors that they love, and they continue to find ways to work with them. I mean, look at Mike Coulter, look at my husband, Christine Baranski. I mean, just the people that they love. And I just feel so fortunate that I was one of those people.
Mhm.
And yeah, I never could have dreamt of this, but, had it not happened, I probably never could have dreamt of what would be in that place, and in the place of this. Um, but it is a dream. My dream has come true. So I'm really trying to,
Mm.
um, enjoy it, for what it is every moment that I can, because I know all of the years of, you know, not having things like this, and wanting something like this that I've had, and not just me, but every character actor on the planet. So I feel like I kind of represent all of the what I like to call illusionists, in our business.
Is there anything about the character that you just want to know more about, as an actress? She's mentioned a son.
Hmm.
I hope we get to know more about that character. And of course, she has a
Hmm.
dog, Gonzo. I absolutely love
Yeah,
Gonzo. What about you?
yeah, I do. I love Gonzo, and I love it that, although we have little moments of flirtations, that Elsbeth is still, pretty much a single woman reinventing herself. I think that's a really great thing about her, that she's someone who loves her job, and loves this new scenario that she's in. We're finding out a little more in this season, what exactly made her move to New York, really.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's fun, delving a little bit into her past, and also just looking at, some of the maybe guilt that she has over representing some pretty reprehensible people in the past,
Mhm.
and trying to kind of course correct that. So that's a fun thing that I'd love to learn more about. I like to find the vulnerabilities in all the characters that I play, just because that makes them more human.
And your co-stars, Cara Patterson and Wendell Pierce. I mean, it's just the three of you together is such a great little ensemble.
Yeah, it feels very magical to me, that, I mean, there over the years been a part of a lot of ensembles, and a lot of them quite large, and So to have something where it's just the three of us, and then every week we get these new series regulars that come in, and then they come and go, but we remain the kind of I don't know, the tripod, the triumvirate, the three of us. And I really rely on them as actors and as friends. But our hours are long,
Mm.
um, and so they give me a lot of comfort and stability, just leaning on them and trusting them and knowing that's there, even though all of this other stuff is swirling around us.
And before we go, the winter award season is heating up, and Gold Derby, we love talking awards. The Golden Globes, the Critics' Choice, SAG Awards, these are all coming up. What would it mean to you and to the show at large to get nominated, to get recognized by some of these organizations?
Well, we're a network show, and we're a procedural, really, and a lot of those don't get the awards
Mm.
nods the way that the prestigious cable shows do, and the streamers, etc. But I really do feel like we're doing incredibly strong work that is on par with those shows, and so to be recognized for that in any way, shape, or form in the awards would just, I think, elevate the show, and it would be, I think, good for the network um, to be recognized in that way. I think, you know, getting recognized by the industry is always um, a real honor and a humbling experience. I certainly felt that way when I won the Emmy all those years ago.
And last question. I mean, CBS is on fire with Elsbeth and with Matlock. I would love a crossover between your character and Kathy Bates' character. How could we make this happen?
Yeah, let's start talking. Let's start talking about that. I would love that. I think Matlock's terrific, and I would love to work with Kathy Bates, and that would be very interesting to see. Elsbeth, this lawyer who's turned police detective, um, and Matlock, who is a lawyer who has an she has something else going on. She's not who she seems. I think
Mhm.
it could be a really fun collaboration. I wouldn't want to see them go head to head.
Yes, I want them to be friends, not
Yes,
enemies.
yes.
Well, thank you so much, Carrie. We are going to be looking out for you at all these upcoming award shows. Fingers crossed.
Thank you so much for your support, as always.